Hey guys, Jambo is here for the second lesson for Plnty. This one is about 3D models generation. We're going to be generating all sort of 3D models on the canvas and see how they're integrating with the Plnty tools. Let's start. We're basically going to start with seeing the differences between the different type of the 3D generators, such as Tripo, Hanyuan, Meshi, and so on. Then we're going to see some unique GenAI workflows that generating 3D objects on the canvas, and eventually we'll show the integration between tools you might know to the Plnty canvas and the different integrations for the Plnty tools. So let's dive in. Over here I got a chair I made. In order to start and get some different variations, I'm going to take the variations tool by dragging the tool into the canvas and then dragging the image into the tool and adjusting the preset. So I'm going to choose proportions for this one because I quite like this chair and I only want to get a bunch of proportion variations. So I'll click run. Looking nice. I got some favorites. I'll grab this one. I'll take this one and this one. And perhaps I'll run another set of variations. So I'll take the tool again, drag the image inside again, change it to a different mode. This time I'll change it to a shape mode and I'll generate again. Let's just choose the ones I want to keep. So by shift, by the way, I can get the spacing guidance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, let's just grab those and see if we need any others. Next, I want to show you something just a moment before we jump into the 3D generators. So I can go to the image tools and I can scroll to the bottom and take Qwen Multiview. And if I just take Qwen Multiview with one of the chairs that perhaps doesn't have the perfect angle, I can maybe try to find an angle that is more appealing. So I can take this one and I can run it with Qwen Multiview. It will take just a couple of seconds and I'll be getting a bunch of different angles. And as you can see, it opened different new possibilities for the way the prop looks like. So might just take this one and I might just extend it just slightly so it won't be cropped like that. This is actually Flux Outpaint. I can then take all of those that I don't need and right click or Command G and stack them all together. I can then take the stack and move them to the side, or perhaps even put those in another stack as well. And let's just focus now on what we got. So we got those 6 chairs in the original one, and it's time to turn them into 3D models. So let's go to the 3D generators category, and then we can see the different tools and in what each one is good at. So let's start with the basic ones. Trellis 1 and Trellis 2 are very good draft models. Trellis 1 quality is pretty bad, to be honest, but it's very, very fast. It takes less than 30 seconds. So sometimes it's just good to draft quickly and iterate from what you got using the Pathtracer, which I'll show you soon. Just click run, 1 and 2. So Trellis 1 just finished. The quality isn't great. You'll see the rest soon and you'll understand. I can click on this button here to view the wireframe look. And as you can see, we don't have a very great topology. And I can double click on the object if I want to rotate it, but also take the comment tool and comment on a specific area. So I can comment on this area, click enter. And then if I'll move the model again and this comment would be out of view, it will be invisible, and I can just land the model however I want. Let's just wait another moment for Trellis 2, which is much better quality, but still doesn't compete with the best models, I would say. In the meanwhile, let's take Tripo 3.1, which is the most advanced model from Tripo at this point. We got quads by default. Then let me take Tripo P1, which is a model that is good for low poly count, gaming, and so on. We'll see the results in a second. And finally, I can also take Tripo 3.1, but text to 3D model. And let's say we are choosing this chair. So I'll take it to the repo 3.1, repo P1, and I can also click describe image. I will then get a description that is probably just sitting here behind that. And then I can take the description and take it to the 3po text to 3D model. Trace 2 is ready. As you can see, nothing very exciting, a dense mesh, but the separation to different parts usually become handy when it's required. So let's move on and now see the differences between 3po P1, and 3po text, which is really just trying to create the same result, but with a textual description. So let's just generate the 3 of them. So 1, 2, and 3. This is where it gets interesting. So we can see the 3.1 and the 3.P1. Not a major difference, but if I'll click on the topology, you can see that the 3.1 got some perfect quads. And this is something special. GLB, by nature, cannot present quads on the web or preserve them. And we actually wrote a custom GLB extension that allowing preserving quads directly inside Plnty, but also if you import it to Cinema 4D, you get the quads perfectly preserved. So, and that's one I'll cover shortly. And then the P1, as you can see, is a low topology. And if you'll take it to C4D, you'll see that the different parts are separated. So it's really oriented for gaming, but it could be handy for some specific stuff. And then the text to 3D model got this one. And if I'll click at the bottom toolbar on this scale, or K by shortcut, I can then scale it up and down, or double click to rotate it to view it from all angles. So yeah, that's the 3po set, that's the trellis set, and let's move forward to do now one with Meshy and one with Meshy text to 3D. So let's just take one of the chairs that we got here, and I'll do the same, describe the image. I'll take the description that will land here in a few seconds into Meshy. I got a target poly count. I'm gonna just drop it in, and then I'm gonna take the Meshy 6 and gonna make sure it's on quads as well, because Meshy is also able to preserve some quads. And let's generate the 2 of them. And to be efficient with generation time, I will take also Rodin. And Rodin is a model that just released a few days ago, the new Rodin 2.5. And it also supports quads, and you can adjust the target poly count over here. The pricing, by the way, is really just following the API pricing. And yeah, let's just generate one with Rodin as well. And finally, I will take this one, and I will generate it with my favorite model, which is Hanyuan. I find Hanyuan really just the most interesting from all the rest. It doesn't support proper quads, but you'll be able to see that really the results and the quality in Hanyuan is, in my opinion, different from the rest, and the price is also very good. So yeah, it's a really great model if you want to get some detailed and creative results. So let's just generate one with Hanyuan as well. Okay, so all of them are ready. Let's inspect them now. So starting with Meshy, as you can see, the text to 3D. Yeah, so this is Meshy. If I'll click on this one and I'll click here, you can see that we're also getting nice quads, but because we choose a higher poly count, we get a denser mesh. So we can clearly see it in contrast to the quads from Meshy, and all of this is very much adjustable. Then the text to 3D went creative because, as you can imagine, it's a little tricky to describe this one by text and get a result that is satisfying. The Honey one got some artifact over here, but otherwise looking good. And finally, this is the Rodin, and I can maybe even just drag Meshy here side by side so we can actually compare the two. So this one is from Rodin at 2.5, and this one is from Meshi. And as you can see, these Rodin quads are flowing quite nicely. And if you'd like to match the reflection, you can go to the material editor over here and just reduce the roughness. And just by that, clicking apply, I can get similar reflectance. And this actually takes me to the next thing I want to show you, which is the Pathtracer. So I'll open the Pathtracer, and the Pathtracer is automatically putting the object that you got chosen. So I can change it from this to that, and the 3D object will take a moment. Pathtracer will be initialized, and then you can choose some presets and adjust it as you wish. So let me choose this one again. I can move the Pathtracer as I wish, so I can do something like that. Can go to the render settings, change to 9:16, maybe adjust the window a little further, then go to the settings here, choose one of the presets. I can then adjust the camera angle, I can zoom out slightly, I can rotate the lighting, I can remove the backdrop, I can play with the camera angle, I can turn on alpha, and I can even turn on depth of field, and clicking to focus. And this won't be the best example, so I'll probably just turn on the depth of field for this case. And I can wait a moment and just grab a capture into the canvas. And by that, I can get an alpha image into the canvas, and I can perhaps even change the tilt again and just do another camera angle very quickly. As you can see, the sample count is pretty much just counting until you stop it. It is a progressive rendering. I'll capture another one, and I got 2 images now of this chair, and I can close the Pathtracer. Now I will just do the same for some of the other chairs. I just want to get a bunch of quick renders. So I'll open a bunch of them and just capture a bunch of renders into the canvas. I'll show you for what in a second. So capturing one, I'll then move in the canvas and just move to this object, and settings would apply. So I can now just render this chair. I got some fireflies here. I wouldn't worry about that, but I can just go here and adjust the metalness and roughness slightly, apply, move slightly, go to another one, go capture this one as well. Yeah, let's take this one, and that should be enough. So I'm going to take now all the different images I outputted from the Pathtracer. So I got those 5 chairs, and let's say I want to move forward with them. I want to show you another tool. So what I'll do right now is go to the image edit. Yeah, say just did 4 of those, and I'll just write a prompt. Yeah, so I got this prompt just for those 4 chairs. And let's do one more thing. In the meanwhile, let's take the turntable tool. Yeah, say this one, and I'll just generate a turntable video. Okay, great. That's pretty much what I wanted. So next I'll take some multi-objects, which is the actual name over here. I'll drag it here, and now what I can do is draw regions. So assuming this wasn't the case, which we already created those models, and I got an image with a bunch of objects inside, what I can do, first region here, and second one over here. And now I can run this one. And what would happen is that I will get the different 3D models landing inside the scene. And I made a turntable because there is a very interesting model called Recon via Gen, which is actually working by video. So assuming you have a video of a product and you have all sort of details from the back side are only translating inside the video, you can actually use this video to 3D model. So let me generate one with Recon via Gen 0.5. So there we go. We got a sandbox of all the different 3D model generation tools in one canvas. And I want to show you how we can integrate them into your workflow by the Cinema 4D plugin. So I'm going to jump into Cinema 4D. You got the Plnty Connect plugin. You can go to your Plnty account settings, and over there you'll be able to see the plugin, and don't just download it like any other plugin for Cinema 4D. And if I'll just choose the right board here and refresh, I will be able to see here shortly all the different props I generated. So I can now just double click on them. It will take a moment and it will download the GLB with the textures into the scene. And the nice thing, which is again quite a unique thing, is that the quads are preserving. And this is great if you want to simulate your stuff or you want to keep on processing them in Cinema 4D. As we know, quads could be important. So fairly easily you can take the models you generated into Cinema 4D and render them right away and inspect and see how they look. Yeah, and there we go. Let's maybe take one more chair. Yeah, just import in another one. Okay. Then back into Plnty. So let's take the Plnty animate. I'll use the object. I'll go to full screen mode, and then I can play. Nothing would happen. We don't have any keyframes. And let me do a simple animation. And let me just take the object and change its initial position. So I can move it. Let's just do it like a simple floating in the air animation. So maybe we're starting with such a rotation. I'll put a keyframe. I'll then play it. I'll go halfway. Then move it upwards to the left. Just rotate it slightly. I'll put a second keyframe, and I can then choose a more snappy motion to the keyframe and just go to the very end and do a loop. And if I'll just play it now, so we got this goes down. Let me run it and I will get a video into the canvas. I will take the blending scene tool. I will use the background from one image I generated. I will then take the chair from the Pathtracer as the subject, and I will just put it here, standing in the center, so we can actually get a nice look and feel. And I will just choose Nano Banana 2 for this case and run it. That's the result, looking great, quite handy, regardless this motion. But now what I can do is to take the video and take the image, and using a new model by Kling 03 Omni, I can now just generate this. In the meanwhile, that's the Recon via Gen chair that arrived. The mesh is dense. What this one is mainly good at is just getting the back details better. I'm not sure if this would be a direct compare, because if I'll take this one from Meshy, for example, let's see if the back is any better. Yeah, as you can see, this is a decent example, I think, because the video got this detail here, and Meshy, and this is what's happening a lot of time with those AI gen models, didn't really got a proper translation here, but because of the video source, got something that is working fairly good. And yeah, and also the SEM 3D arrived to the scene. They are kind of like the trellis quality, so they're not amazing, but just having the ability to, get a bunch of regions and getting a 3D model out of them, I would say is quite handy. So yeah, let's just now wait for the Kling motion to be ready, which is really the final thing we're going to be speaking about here. Okay, so pretty incredible, right? So as you can see, we got the pipeline working as expected. Just going over through it again, we got the background scene, then we got the chair with the Pathtracer. We don't get incredible details. I was even saving it with a decent noise, but then just taking it to the blending scene gives us nice textures and materials for the chair, and then combining it with the animation I made with the Plnty animate, and eventually we get this result, which is great. So yeah, this is our full sandbox. Basically all the possible 3D models generated with the different Gen AI tools, from Tripo, Meshy, Anyuan, and some unique models like the Recon via Gen or the combination with the Plnty tools. Yeah, so that was lesson 2 about 3D models inside Plnty and all the different usage of them using the Plnty tools and others. There is way more to discover, so Just stick around and we'll see you next week. Ciao.